All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Closers Podcast. I'm your host, one of your two hosts for this episode. My name is Mark Alvarado. Joining me as my co-host is Quinn, the Moondog Kalani. If you didn't see our episode where he was the guest, he is going to soon be a permanent co-host on the show. And he's going to have his own show in the Closers Podcast Network, I guess you can call it now, called Hang 10 with Quinn Kalani. We're still working on the solid details, but that is coming down the pipeline. So welcome, Quinn. And our guest today is Brianna Carmel. She's been on the podcast one other time back in November, I believe. And we've been trying to get her back on ever since. Finally, we have time. We have nothing but time. So it's worked perfectly. So how are you guys doing today?
Doing all right. Nothing but time, like you said. So I mean,
yeah. How have you been? How's it been going for you in the whole quarantine pandemic situation? How's that? Just because we'll definitely get into like the nitty gritty of that question, but just an overview. Has it been okay or?
Yeah, it's been basically ever since I upped my dose of medication. It's been fairly okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. And Quinn, I know you listened to me and Brianna's episode that we did back last year. And I remember you messaged me about it. You were saying you gave me props for it. You gave us props for it, saying that it was a really good episode. I was just curious, what did you hear in that episode that really like stuck with you or made you think it was a very well done conversation?
Yeah, episode 30, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I listened to it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to like give myself a refresher.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It just it resonated with me as someone who's spent a fair amount of time in therapy and seeing doctors and whatnot and what have you. It's cool. It's not something that's like it's not something that I openly talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And so to hear someone else openly talk about it was just super rad. And it kind of, I don't know, it'd be kind of cliche to be like, it inspired me. But it was cool, man. It was just, I don't know. It was like a shared consciousness almost. Not shared consciousness, but like shared experience, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So it was just, I don't know, it was cool to hear that, and I don't know, it was just rad.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very kind of you to say. If you guys haven't already, I urge you to check out that episode after you listen to this one. I don't think you need to listen to the first one in order to hear this, but if you want to, you can stop it here, go to come back. But times have definitely changed since that episode. Like I mentioned before, the outbreak of coronavirus or COVID-19 or the Rona, as some people have
Miss Rona.
termed it. Miss Rona, little Miss Rona.
My Sharona.
Yeah. Has swept the nation, literally has swept our nation, because we have the most COVID cases officially in the world. China hasn't had a single one in a couple months, which is pretty interesting. Some people may say that's not really like true. They haven't reported anything, but who knows? What I've seen today is that there are estimates that some doctors are thinking things will be okay by like Christmas time. People will finally start to like be more comfortable with the idea of going outside and just returning back to normal. With that being said, we've had to stay inside already for a month. I think us three can relate on the idea that like it's been tough to just kind of stay inside and not really have any social interaction. So Brianna, I was just wondering, like, how has, since we're going to be talking about mental health, how has it been for you like this whole mental health, like regarding your mental health? You said you upped your dose a little bit. So
Yeah, I upped my dose a little bit because I had another. For anyone who didn't watch the episode that I was in before, I have bipolar type 2 disorder. And so, like, on top of PTSD, which isn't relevant. Sorry.
All right, you're good.
Basically, I had another, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just been hard for me to, or it was hard for me to, like, I really struggled, like, in particular, the first Saturday that we had to stay inside, like, the first Saturday that I wasn't able to just go out to a show and kind of, like, see my friends and kind of not forget everything for a bit, but just kind of, you know what I mean? Like, the first Saturday that I wasn't able to do what I was used to being able to do, it really, like, I think that was the first time it really hit me. Like, the first time I was like, oh man, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see any of my friends again. I don't know when, like, I don't know. It really just started looming over my head. Like, I don't know how long this is going to last, and I don't know. Because, like, it's one of my biggest coping mechanisms, I guess, like, being able to socialize with people and stuff.
Right.
So, like, I don't know if I should give a trigger warning, but I did get a bit, like, suicidal about it, like, out of nowhere, and that was kind of what, kind of like we talked about before, like, I don't know. It wasn't completely out of nowhere, because, like, I was thinking about it, and, like, you know, it's prevalent in the media and stuff, so, like...
Yeah, it's around, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, like, I guess by out of nowhere, I just mean, like, the intensity of the negative feelings is what was out of nowhere.
I see.
Yeah, so, like, I upped my dose, and, I'm sorry, what was the question?
Just how you've been, like... just how you've been doing for the, like, given the circumstances, like, how you've been holding up, since you do have, like, we all, like, most of us do, at least us three, issues mentally. But since you're the guest, I just wanted to see how you were doing with it.
Okay, so so I did have another, like, kind of suicidal moment, like, I sometimes get when I'm, like, when the mood swings get really low. And then I upped my dose, and that kind of helped. Like, it hasn't completely taken the depression away, because I feel like there's no way you can't not be a little bit depressed with everything that's happening right now. But it's still kind of evened me out, I guess. Like, I'm not crashing super hard and getting super excitable. Like, I'm
pretty even.
Yeah, pretty even.
That's good. Because this moment we're in is, like, I feel like, for people that do struggle with their mental health, this is like a perfect cocktail of, like, what you don't want a situation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be in this situation. Like, it's the worst things that you would want, right? And then, so it's a really interesting moment, at least in my opinion, because it first of all, nobody was, like, expecting this. Like, you were hearing rumblings around the world, but no one was, like, expecting it to come to America and, like, you know, be this sweeping. So I think part of it too, and why it's so difficult, for people in general, is just, like, it's nobody expected it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the shock took a while for people to, like, kind of, like, and you saw that too with, like, people going on grocery store runs and just taking up the toilet paper and like paper towels and like all that stuff. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like people's anxiety, like trying to gain control in any way they can. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Quinn? What do you got? What do you got to say?
Well, we were kind of talking about this at the Habit. I've actually kind of found this very structured, and I'm kind of starting to fall in love with it more and more.
Some people feel that way. I have a friend that is really like kind of thriving right now musically because of
like
all this.
Yeah.
Well, like I guess like my whole thing is, when I first moved back to California, I was like late 2015, 2016 or whatever. Before I had started working at the store, Marco. I was seeing a doctor kind of down the way at Oak Grove Boulevard, and she kind of gave me like a mild diagnosis of OCD or whatever. And for us working together for like the past 3-4 years, you've borne witness to some anxiety attacks that I have and stuff, and it's all typically external. And I'm kind of a homebody anyway, so I guess if you wanted to call them triggers for me, all my triggers are usually externally stimulated. And it's usually very particular as to what those things are. I mean, they're fairly common, but I never really encounter them unless I'm, out and about.
Yeah, so staying home is for you not necessarily the end of the world like it is for some.
No, man, it's like the Hulk said, it's like I was made for this. I've been washing my hands like 12 times a day for like the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So. I've seen people say that too, that it's like kind of nice to have everyone, I don't know how to explain it, like act kind of how you feel all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like you don't feel such such an outcast.
Yeah.
Or whenever you have like an extreme response to something and everyone kind of looks at you like Jesus Christ. Now it's kind of like the norm. So
yeah.
So it's been pretty chill. I mean, there was those asshole cops at Hokey Pokey yesterday that were totally taking advantage of the situation, but
like what? What happened?
What happened?
So, it was yesterday where we met for lunch. I went to Hokey Pokey, and they have the 6-foot social distance markers.
And Hokey Pokey is a pokey restaurant, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not aware of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm observing the social distance because I like structure. I like laws. And these police officers in front of me are like freaking 6 inches apart, straight spooning in line, bro. And I'm looking around like, is this for real? And I can't say nothing to them, because they're the authoritarians of our society. I'm just a meekly peasant. And they get to the register, and homeboy finally realizes, Officer Lewis of Elk Grove PD, you don't get away. I saw your badge. He looks down and he looks at me, and I kind of give him like a look, like the eyebrow raise, like, yeah, you fucked up. But he looks at his partner, and he's like, oh, we didn't do the 6-foot distance thing. And his partner kind of looks around. He's like, I don't think it applies to us. And they just walked out. I was like, these fucking guys, man. These guys.
Oh my God.
The worst. Besides that, and like an occasional like pest control truck riding by, I'm sound as a pound.
I see. What is interesting, and you touched upon this, Brianna, a little bit when you referred to your friend who's like loving this time, is musically, you and I are both musicians. So I'm curious as to what exactly you've been up to musically, and how has this time proven to be fruitful for you in terms of music creation and like writing songs and stuff, or has it kind of made it a little more difficult because there's no like stimulation?
Um, it's, oh gosh. I kind of have a mixed answer to that question. Like,
Mm-hmm.
right before quarantine started, because I've been working on music with Josiah for the past, like, I don't know. At this point, it's
Yeah.
been like a couple years.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
Yeah.
And like right before quarantine, we had like, we had like, we pretty much have an EP ready to go.
Oh
But
wow.
then quarantine happened.
Oh man.
Like,
Yeah.
so that was the really disappointing thing about it. But since I haven't been able to work with Josiah, I have
Right.
kind of been like, I don't know. I released a couple demos on Bandcamp recently.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff has kind of been like pouring out of me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, it's harder for me to write by myself.
Oh, okay.
Like, if it was my choice, I would be writing more often.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, what I really want to be doing is writing with Josiah. So like, I don't know.
Yeah. Have you guys come up with a name yet? I'm curious about that.
So like,
Or can
oh,
you
I
not
should
talk
have
about it?
texted him.
Is
I
that
should have
super
texted
secret?
him. It's super secret right now.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for it. I know you guys came up with something cool. I have a feeling
Yeah.
it's a really fucking awesome name. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's really unfortunate the timing of everything
yeah.
because we were literally ready to record an EP almost. Like,
Wow. Who
we
you
just
guys
have to.
were you guys just gonna record it like yourselves, or were you gonna go to a studio?
He has a friend who records.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is unfortunate. But have you been writing a lot during this time?
Yeah, like I said, I put out a couple demos. It's just been, it's harder for me to write by myself as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
like with people because I'm not, how do I put it? I'm not as knowledgeable on guitar
Mm-hmm.
as I would like to be. So like
Oh, okay.
it feels like my ability to write guitar is a little bit limited.
I see.
So like yeah. It's hard for me to, I don't know. It's just I have to really like what I'm writing, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yeah. Have you
I
taken oh, sorry, Quinn. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I imagine things are more difficult creatively. I know for myself, having to write like screenplays and stuff for school, since everything is like kind of like forced internalization.
Yeah.
That man, it's kind of like the biggest drawback of this whole thing is trying to
Yeah.
find extra layers of depth within yourself and then like forcing it out, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually oh gosh. Like, well, that just kind of made me think of like how I ended up writing my most recent song. Like
How was that?
it happened because I feel like this isolation is a really big like, I don't know, trigger, I guess. I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to think of a better word, but it's hard to think of one.
Yeah.
And like basically what happened was because I had already written about like feeling isolated,
Yeah.
like in and of itself. But then like there was this one day when I wasn't really doing anything. Like, I think I was literally just sitting on my phone, and I've told you that I have PTSD. And, like, I feel like something that happens with PTSD is that, like, when I feel like a lot of times it starts to act up when nothing is going on and your brain feels like it's safe for you to, like, experience these things.
Okay.
So, like, basically that happened. I was, like, a few weeks into quarantine, or a couple weeks into quarantine or whatever, and I was just chilling, and all of a sudden I started having flashbacks of these things that I had, like, never had flashbacks of before. And kind of had some, like, new realizations about some darker times in my life, and I coped with it by writing a song about it, which was pretty cool, and it's, like, probably the song I'm proudest of.
That's pretty cool that you're able to take that moment that was pretty dark, I could imagine, and then turn it into something pretty positive. I can imagine that feels great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another scary thing about this whole isolation thing, is that when you do create, there's almost like an honesty that you almost can't contain.
Yeah. No,
that
exactly.
It just kind of forces its way out, man. And it's like the dude from the Goo Goo Dolls said, man.
Like what? What'd he say?
Trying to remember. I had it, now I forgot it.
Wait, which one? Like, I don't want the world to see. Like, for Iris?
That's it, brother.
Okay.
Just like Iris, man.
Just like Iris said.
Like Iris said. Iris said it, yeah. Dude, no, it's just...
you don't think that they would understand.
That's a great song, by the way. I love that song.
It is.
Dude,
it's applicable, man.
I was gonna cover that song before, like, the quarantine happened. While I was in Sweden, I was gonna do it, but then the fucking what are they called? Surf Curse covered it, like, the week that I was gonna do it. So I didn't.
No.
So I didn't, because I was like, I don't want people to think that I'm copying them. But I was inspired by Sleeping Sirens. I don't know, Brianna, I'm assuming you know what I'm talking. Their cover of Iris.
Yeah.
And, like, I was gonna do it because of them, and then now I have to wait another couple years just to give it distance. Maybe I'll wait. Maybe not a year. Maybe not a couple years. Maybe I can do it.
Drop that Hoobastank cover, man.
The
people are waiting for it. They're waiting for that Hoobastank.
What do you think of Hoobastank, Brianna?
Oh god, I don't have much of an opinion on Hoobastank. I also don't have much of an opinion on Sleeping with Sirens, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What were your bands?
What were my bands? In that scene, like, All Time Low, Paramore, like, you know.
I remember.
What else? I don't know, My Chem.
Were you gonna try to go to Aftershock and see them?
I wanted to, but I didn't really have... That's another thing that kind of got affected by this whole situation. I was, like, job hunting for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was gonna try to, like, just get one of my old jobs back, and then they closed, and then this whole quarantine thing happened, and yeah. So, like, everything that I would want to do in terms of a career is, like, closed right now. So there were a lot of shows that I kind of missed out on for that reason.
I feel it. Yeah.
Or tickets I missed out on or whatever.
Job hunting, or just jobs in general, I mean, there's, like, nothing. No one's hiring right now aside from, like, essential worker jobs and, like...
Yeah, and it's like I wouldn't even feel safe working right now is the other thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I
at
agree.
a grocery store or some shit, like, I have friends that are doing that, and it's like, power to them. But I just couldn't, like, I don't know.
It's a different kind of stress.
I'm pretty fortunate that like I don't have to worry about like I live with my parents, so I don't have to worry about things like a lot of other people have to worry about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it is. What about you, Quinn? Would you feel like you'd be safe enough to like work right now? Would you? How you think you'd be able to do it or nah? You waited till the time.
I don't have like a real desire to work.
I don't think anybody wants to work. I mean,
well, man, it's kind of just been like it's been sucked out of me from our previous job.
Yeah.
You know, I value hard work. I value a 9 to 5. You know, I really appreciate people who could commit to that, to putting their boots on every day. You know, salute to them. But right now, man, like it's almost I hate to be like condescending, but I'm only in California for like 3 months out of the year now, and it's only in the summertime. So I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, you look cozy right now, so
I'm draped in blankets.
Yeah, you're straight cozied up. So I mean, even good for you. In terms of like jobs and job hunting and all that, have you been looking to see specifically like if there are any? Are you still like looking for jobs, or is it just kind of like right now you're just taking the time to just kind of like just figure everything out internally?
Yeah, the latter. I really was looking for a while, but then like I don't know, with all the food service jobs and stuff closing, like, because that was mainly what I did was like food service. I kind of viewed it as an opportunity to like, I don't know, just because the isolation kind of brought up a lot of personal stuff that I haven't been dealing with, like I said. So like I'm just kind of taking time to like, I don't know, really focus on myself and like
that's good.
Focus on therapy and all that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really
time to be
like
that way.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a weird time though. Like it's perfect, but at the same time, like, would this be harder or better if this would have happened like in the winter, like early winter, like late fall, instead of like in spring where like it's really nice outside and it's sunny and it's like hot here in California? Like,
honestly,
would it have been better? I don't know.
I don't know, because like I still appreciate being able to sit outside in the sun, even if I can't like see my friends or whatever. I'm also the type to get really depressed with like cloudy weather too. It's the other thing. Yeah. So
Me
like
too.
See, I'm the polar opposite, man. Too much sun. It wears me down. It wears me down. Just this blinding ball of light. It's all day, every day.
What do you mean all day?
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's just the monotony of sunshine is it's brutal for me, dude. I need the rain, man. I need that sense of, you know, things being washed. That you know, that natural sort of cleanse.
I feel that.
And I need, man, it's hard for me to appreciate sunshine if I ain't got no rain.
I feel it.
Yeah. I mean, see all these song references, man. Have you ever seen the rain?
Not in some time.
Really? In Hawaii, you didn't see it?
Well, not since I've been back. It's about a month. It was raining like every day.
Didn't it just rain? I thought it just rained here. No? But
like,
whatever.
I don't know.
I thought it did. Maybe I dreamt that or something. I don't know. But it is interesting because like April, May, and June are like my 3 favorite months out of the year because it's the time of year where usually school gets out. I don't usually do summer school, so I'm able to just like finish my finals in May, like have like 3 months to chill, like go travel a little bit and then go back to school, like summertime is like my favorite time of the year, but
Yeah.
springtime just weather-wise. And it's just so disheartening that this year I'm not getting that experience because like the classes I was taking like got cut short, and then now it's like my summer is basically spent inside, so I can't go out and do anything. I'd feel weird hanging out with my friends all the time because that's just not really the safest thing. So it's just like, man, like I'm like spent like look my time spent like looking out the window and just like being like, it's a beautiful day, but I got to stay in here for like my own safety and like the safety of my family because my parents are a little older, so like I don't
Yeah,
want
so are mine.
yeah, so I don't want to like risk anything, and I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
shitty situation, man.
it is.
What music have you been listening to during this time? Have you discovered any artists that have become your favorite or anything, or any artists you hate? Have you found any music that you don't like? You're like, I will never listen to this again, type shit, or
Um, I've been listening to like kind of, I don't know, I go back to a lot of like the emo classics, but I've also been listening to like kind of poppier stuff, like just
oh,
kind of
interesting.
upbeat stuff to kind
Upbeat.
of combat like,
Mm,
you know,
yeah,
the monotony I feel every day.
yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Like what? Like which artists?
Well, I know I talk about Paramore all the time, but Hayley Williams just started releasing some solo stuff.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, and I'm super obsessed with it. Um, I think her album comes out like this week or next week or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's been all those new tracks have been on like heavy rotation for me. I've been going back to Marina and the Diamonds. She's like a
Good shit.
alternative pop kind
Yeah.
of thing. What else? What else? I don't know. And like emo grassroots, like classic Paramore and My Chem and Green Day and like
Yeah.
shit like that.
The founding fathers, basically.
Yeah.
That's cool. I dig it. There's always room for, OG emo shit in the rotation for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Quinn?
What about-
Anything? Huh?
I was about to ask you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, why not?
Wow. All right. Well, that's a good question. I've been honestly listening to a lot of. I'm like the exact opposite of Brianna. I'm listening to a lot of sad shit because I'm currently writing a lot, and because not because the music project's named Downer, but I don't know. I connect with sad music in a different way. So I've been listening to a lot of stuff that inspires that.
Yeah.
But in a good way, because I feel like there's a lot of like music that tries to do this, but it's just super overt and it just hits you over the head with it. And it's just like, okay, we get it. You're sad. But there's like music that is sad without it really even being intentional. Like, trying to think of a good example. Like there's a band called Gleamer. I don't know if you've heard of them, Brianna, but they're like this like shoegaze kind of band from I think Ohio. I'm not sure, but their music is super just like very chill, and the tone of his voice that he sings in is very just like monotone and quiet, which I like, and which gives the songs kind of like a really like more sad-er vibe, but what they talk about is really just like kind of more teenage pop punky kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not like super sad. It's just like tongue in cheek, but the vibe of how the music sounds is kind of in that vein. But that's what I've been kind of listening to, things like that. Also, the band Nothing is like one of my favorite bands, and I'm always listening to them. But that's like generally what I've been listening to, and some Swedish music that I learned about over in Sweden.
Nice.
So yeah. What about you, Quinn? Anything? Because I have a question after we're done with music recommendations or like music just like talk. Because I have a really good question that kind of connects with everything.
I've been listening to some like synthwave, like some 80s synthwave, like Time
Oh,
Cop.
oh, wow.
I've been listening to a lot of Time Cop and like Magic Sword in the
Yeah,
Face
Magic
of
Sword. The
Darkness.
face of
I've also been listening to a lot of Motown, like Detroit Spinners,
Yeah.
Boney M. Yeah, not really music that kind of reflects. I have been listening to Gregorian chants for no
What?
reason at all.
You don't know why? They just
No,
one day they came on the playlist.
I go for a stroll in the park every morning, as you know, and I listen to Gregorian chants.
While you're
And
walking.
yeah, as the sun's like rising over the horizon, it's a low key. It's sort of a beautiful thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
I feel
dude,
like
it's
that's
perfect.
kind of scary. I'd get
You
a
have
little
to say
scared.
creepy.
Creepy too. Yeah, maybe.
It's just I'm over here doing the Lord's work. All right. I'm committed to God.
You're committed to God. Yeah, okay. So my question is, what are your thoughts about like music and how it relates to mood? Because I feel like there's a lot of times where you're listening to a really happy song or like a song that's supposed to make you get pumped or like make you happy, and you just are not like it, like because of its overwhelming positivity, it's making you kind of like drop down because you're just like, oh my God, like
That's
why?
my theory about the sun. That's what I just explained about
yeah,
the sun.
yeah, but I'm extending it to music because we're on music now. Like do you guys feel that too, or is it just me?
Nah, I feel that.
You don't feel that?
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. I feel like the positive music that I listen to doesn't necessarily always have positive lyrics.
Mm,
Or, like, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
so I feel like there's kind of a balance there.
I
Like,
see. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's not like 100% just like super poppy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel it. Because for me, I usually like flip the argument and I'm like, okay, I listen to sad music a lot, even when I'm like feeling happy, just because like I put all of my sadness into the song and then it goes away. Well, not goes
Mm-hmm.
away, but it like it's comforting.
Yeah.
That's why I listen to those types of songs a lot.
I actually feel it. I've I've been listening to Wayne Jetski, even though it
Mm,
makes me sad because I miss Josiah.
yeah, Wayne Jetski, man, I love Wayne Jetski.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like finding the juxtaposition in it. Like a really happy song and then just finding the terrible emotions that lie underneath it.
Yeah.
That's
feel
what
like
I
that,
love.
I feel like in certain ways that's even more sad than even just like an actual like just sad
Well,
song.
it's like smiling while I'm murdering you kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like stuck in the middle with you, but I'm, cutting off your ear kind of thing.
What? Dude, or even what's that one song by Outkast that everyone fucking hey ya, is it hey ya? Is that what
Yeah.
it's called? That's
I
a
mean,
fucking
that's one of them. That's a dark song.
that's a
That
dark
is a dark
song.
song. No, I know all about that.
That's a
Do
real dark
you?
song. It's a hip
Yeah.
shaker, but it's a dark song.
Yeah, it is. And like I feel like did when it came out, did
Oh
people know
man,
it was a
I
sad song?
remember, dude. I was like a freshman in high school when it came
Really?
out. Oh yeah, like 2000. Let's see, I graduated 2010, so around 2006, around there, 2007. I
There's
remember
no
that.
way. It came out way earlier than that, bro.
All
It
right, I got
did.
it. I gotta check.
It came out like '03 or some shit,
Yeah,
right?
no, I remember hearing it as a child.
You were in like middle school, bro.
Hey
Like
y'all, the Love Below album, Speaker Box.
because
Okay, yeah,
Quinn is
2000,
huge Outkast.
2003. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. See, I know my Outkast.
So
shit,
I
bro.
was 7th grade. I was 7th grade.
7th grade.
Yeah.
Dude, it's okay. So like, since you were there, you were on, you were on the front lines. Did people know it was a sad song when it first came out? Or like, did people
No,
really
man.
listen to the lyrics at all? Or were people just like, hey, like, just like, yeah, hey, like mindlessly listening to this? I'm
Yeah, no one
curious
was
because,
listening to the lyrics. Everyone loved it. They played it
and
at
that's,
soccer games. You know,
and that's part of the lyrics
you'd
too.
show up to Sunday mass, and you know, the grannies would be humming it along.
And isn't that like part of the lyrics too? Like, he's just like, you guys don't want to hear me, you just want to dance. So like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that's kind of like the whole.
Point.
Yeah.
So that's sad. Now, see, now that's the type of sadness I aspire to put into a song. That's just the next level shit.
Yeah.
That's next level. I love it though. I really do. I really, really do. Speaking of things that I really, really like to do, and you already touched upon this a little bit, but is concerts and music events.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think music events are going to change forever from this pandemic situation? Because I don't think things are going to be the same. I have a feeling that businesses are going to keep those giant like plastic shields and stuff for a long time, just like
Mm-hmm.
how with 9/11 a lot of things changed with how in terms of our security policies and stuff like that. I feel like businesses are going to take it upon themselves to change certain things. So how do you think venues or festivals or just even like small like house shows are going to change from this?
I don't know. Like, I think they're definitely gonna be one of like the last things that people are really gonna start to feel comfortable with again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh gosh, like, man, that's a big question.
It is.
Everything's
Like,
just gonna turn to silent discos.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
it?
Oh my god.
Do you think live streaming is going to be more of a thing now? Like, because nobody, I mean,
I
people did
think
live streaming, but
so.
hmm
Yeah. Um, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think live streaming is completely gonna replace it or anything, but
oh yeah, no,
I think like I don't know, it's so hard to say because like I don't know, I can only make guesses like
yeah. What's your guess? I'm curious about what you would guess. What would you bet on? What would you put your money on if this was Vegas and you had
if
money
this
to
was
just throw? If you had money just to throw down,
Vegas. Um, I guess I would guess that like kind of similar to how it was before the quarantine really kicked in, I would guess that like what's it called? Like the maximum capacity is probably going to be
mm,
reduced like by
that makes sense.
half or however much or whatever.
That makes sense.
Um and honestly, I don't really know how that would affect like I've been wondering for a long time how it's going to affect like venue rental fees and stuff like that too. Like
Yeah,
as if there's not if you can't fill a room with people, then how are you going to be able to make sure that you can like break even,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
That's true. Especially for you, since you do put on shows through 916 growth gigs, which we have yet
Yeah.
to talk about, but that's why I was trying to pick this because I agree. Like when it comes to renting out the venues and stuff like that, it's like even the one on that's on your shirt, the Colony Cafe Colonial. Like
Yeah.
it's it is tough. Like how are you supposed to break even with that? I guess it comes down to you know, and also there's a lot of venues that have like had to close forever because of this.
Yeah.
So because there's less venues as well, it's like, are they going to have to charge more and allow less people in? And at that point, how are any bands or artists or promoters even able to put on shows in that case.
Yeah,
You know?
I think at that point it might be a matter of like, oh gosh, it might be a matter of like only rich people being able to book there. And like,
It's true. Like there will be a larger barrier to entry.
yeah, and like, and with that, I feel like house shows are probably gonna
Become
become
a
a
bigger
bigger
thing.
part of DIY again, which like is cool in theory, but I'm wondering like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really don't know like where the next house venue is gonna be.
Yeah. Feels like everything's kind of like, yeah, a lot of things are up in the air with the scene, at least here now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. But one thing that is also really interesting, but for in a positive way, is like we said, live streaming. You've been doing some live streams for charity, right? And stuff like that, through growth
Yes.
gigs. How have those been?
I've done one so far, but it was pretty good. The last one I did was on April 25th, and we did a live stream and we took donations for RAIN for Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month.
Nice.
And yeah, so we like it was like me and like three other acts, and we I don't know, we went live and I put up my PayPal and Venmo and stuff, and people donated, and half of it went to RAIN and half of it went to us, and we made like $60 for RAIN, which was pretty cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Why not? That's good.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing those pretty frequently, or is it going to be like more of like a once a month thing? Once,
Um,
2 months?
I think I'm gonna be doing it like every other week, honestly.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, and I think I'm gonna try to do a charity every time too, because that seems to get people to really want to donate. Um, so yeah,
That's
I have
cool.
plans.
That's awesome. Do you have any other plans, uh, regarding like live streams or any other sort of like interactive activities that music lovers like can participate in, like around the area?
um,
Any other
I'm
strategies?
working. Yeah, I'm working on booking another Pride show, or not
Nice.
booking, but like setting one up, you know, a live
Hmm.
stream one.
That'd be cool.
Um, what else?
Man, I can't believe it's been a year since the last one already. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Well, almost, but yeah.
Almost, yeah, very close to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what else? I've been I'm wondering if this is what you were getting at. I've been using this app called Spoon,
Mm.
which is
Yeah, I was.
yeah, I thought so. um it's this audio only live streaming and chat and like voice chat and
Mm.
recording app. So it's audio only, and you can like go live and get followers and all that good stuff. And I don't know. I
That's
feel like
interesting.
it's. Go ahead.
Oh, I just was saying it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I've like met musicians on there. I've met DJs on there. I've met like people who just go live and just like talk and made
Wow.
friends that way. And it's been a really good like it's been good for me in terms of like filling that music void and that social void.
Nice.
Like it's a good motivator to get me to practice, to just like go live and just like practice some songs, and if people tune in, then that's cool, and if they don't, they don't. And like,
Yeah.
and it's also nice because I don't know, I've been making friends on there, and like it's just nice to be able to I don't know. I was talking to you about this yesterday. Like, I compare it to feeling like you're in a room with your friends.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're able to talk to a lot of your friends at the same time, and, like, you can do live calls and stuff, and, like, I don't know.
And
It's
just
cool. It
chit
just,
chat, yeah.
yeah, it feels really interactive. It's really nice.
That's cool. So when you go live on that app, other people jump in and they can start talking too, or are they just text? Are they just replying to you in text, and you're the only one with the voice?
So you can, like, allow people to call in before you go live. There's, like, a setting, and you can press a button, and you can, like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But you can also choose not to allow that. So, like, either way, it's mostly just you talking and people responding to you in chat. But if you allow people the option to call in, then they can, like, call in and, like, talk to you one at a time or whatever.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you said it's called Spoon?
Spoon, yeah.
Well, definitely have to check that out. It sounds very interesting. And it sounds like people there are very keen on interacting and stuff. It's not like people kind of like with some social media, you join it and people aren't really receptive to just like reaching out to others
Yeah.
and interacting to that degree. So that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, that's good that it's helping you fulfill multiple needs. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Social, professional, all that stuff, creative, all that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're about at that time. So, is there anything else you want to plug, you want to talk about, you want to say before we get on out?
Hmm. Gosh, I wish I had more stuff to plug. Check out my demos on Bandcamp. Because I've been writing more stuff since the quarantine, so I have more stuff up now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, go check them out. Is it just briannacarmel.bandcamp.com?
briannacarmel.bandcamp.com. Yeah.
Sick. That's straight to the point. That's easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
No numbers or anything. No Dragon Slayer 666 or anything. Very easy. What about you, Quinn? Anything you want to say before we get on out?
Yeah, I'll plug a couple things. I'll plug an app, if I can, in no way, shape, or form being paid by them. But the
me
app,
either.
the app JPay,
What
which
the fuck
allows you, which allows you to communicate with inmates in the American federal penitentiary system.
What?
Ooh.
JPay?
JPay.
Wow. Interesting.
One of my best friends is currently incarcerated and has been for some time. But what is cool about this app is that if you're aware of this COVID-19 stuff, then you know that the folks that are currently incarcerated are suffering from this disease at an exponentially higher rate than the rest of the country due to their close living quarters and stuff like that. So if it's if you have anything you can spare, then it would certainly be appreciated, and it's a super cool thing to do.
Wow. Do you have to pay? Because there's pay in the name. So like, do you have to are you donating money to them? Like,
yeah, you could donate money. You could buy them supplies. You could send them music.
No.
You can send them videos. You could buy them anything. You can buy them a pack of cigarettes. The main thing is the reason why I want to kind of push it out there is, it's a kind of a forgotten section of our population who ironically is kind of like the slave labor of our country.
Yeah.
Who, a fair amount of the products that we consume as Americans are built by the hands of prisoners. So, pay it forward maybe if you can.
True.
If you could.
That makes a lot of sense.
Things are tough. So.
Yeah.
And
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting app.
And then, I guess Hang 10 with Quinn Kalani, the latest fruit of the poisonous tree known as the Closers Podcast, will be dropping like an apple sometime within a week or so.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, because season 2 is It's coming up quick. Coming up quick.
How
If
many
anything,
episodes?
June.
How many episodes now do we have in season 2? What is this, HBO? We doing 10 episode seasons?
What? No. What do you mean season 2? We're in season 1.5. This ain't
Oh,
even a
okay,
season,
okay.
brother.
So you're saying season 2
This
is
ain't
coming
even a
up.
season.
This is
No.
season 1. This is season 1B.
Yeah, this is like the epilogue of season 1. This is like the quarantine days. This is like
Okay. This is the back half of Friends season 1 after it got, green lighted for a
yeah,
second
exactly.
Got
Yep.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah,
I
I'm
Um,
with it.
Yeah, Brianna.
oh, well, I did kind of think of a couple things I wanted to say just to
Mhm.
like
Oh, of course, yeah.
touch on mental health again.
Mhm.
Since I feel like a lot of people are probably dealing with this stuff for the first time or dealing with like it for the first time in a while or whatever. Don't be afraid to reach out for therapy, because even though you can't meet even though you can't meet with your therapist in person right now, you can still do telephone appointments. I've been doing telephone appointments with my therapist, and it's been great. And don't be afraid to like, if you need to look into getting meds during this time or upping your dose of meds or whatever during this time, like that's also completely normal. Because this is kind of a very big, scary, traumatic thing we're going through, and it's normal to like need help during this time, and it is available. It's not, it's available even though the world is closed off.
Perfect. That is very true. Very well said.
What about
Appreciate
you, Marco? Anything you want to put out there?
That's a good question. Well, I'm trying to think of something that I can plug that, I put out 2 new tracks today. Well, one's not new, but I put out a cover, or not a cover. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I did an acoustic demo version of my song Sidekick / House Music. It's on my Bandcamp, downerca.bandcamp.com. My first single ever, I also put on there. Finally, I put Curb on Bandcamp too, so that's there as well. Anything you would like to throw my way would be appreciated, because I know there are a lot more deserving send your money. So anything that you can send my way would be awesome. And if you do, you're going to get a very, very special gift from me personally. So yeah, if you want to do that, just let me know if you purchase anything from my Bandcamp, and you will get something very cool.
What do they
But
get?
other than that, I can't say, because that's the whole point. You buy it, you buy the thing, you find out what you get. But it's something else. No one. What?
That's smart. That's
okay.
smart.
All right. I thought you were gonna say something. But yeah,
I
and then
had
I
something
just
lined up, but
I just want to say also that I want to just thank Brianna for coming back on and talking so candidly and openly, like you always do. I like in the first episode, and now I appreciate it immensely.
Of course.
And I know that Quinn's not the only one who felt very connected to you and like vindicated in a way in their own feelings by hearing your episode the first time, and I hope more people feel that way about this episode too. So thank you very much for coming on.
I hope so. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
for sure.
Yeah,
Thank you so
of course.
much.
All right, and we will see you guys next week. Who is going to be the guest? I don't know, but if you want to know, follow us at the Closers Podcast on Instagram, on Facebook at Closers Podcast. We have a Facebook page. Go like us on there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're pivoting now. We're pivoting to using the YouTube more, because these videos, are on there. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell so you know exactly when we drop new content, when the first Hang 10 comes out, when closing out the week makes its triumphant return, which it will pretty soon. But yeah, without any further ado, we'll bid you an adieu. Take care. Stay safe. Love you all. Goodbye.